Good morning and welcome to my first guitar lesson on YouTube. So this guitar lesson is specially designed for people who are holding guitar for the first time in their lives. So in this guitar, I will be telling you a couple of chords, and for all those who do not know what actually a chord is, let me get to it step by step. So first of all, let me show you the parts of guitar. So this entire board that starts from here till here, it is known as a fretboard. And these blocks that we can see over here, like this one, this one, this one, and so on, they are known as frets. So when I play a single note, and then I can play another note over here like this. So how I define a chord is when I play a combination of two notes or more than two notes, then that forms a chord. For example, like this. So like I played two notes at the same time and it made a chord. Now there are several types of chord shapes on guitar. So the first chord that I'm going to tell you today is E minor chord. And chords are classified into two categories, major and minor. So the first chord comes is E minor chord. So in E minor chord, the shape we have to hold is like this. Let me zoom it to you. So now we have our E minor chord zoomed in. So in this chord we have to hold like this. So the fingers that we have to use in E minor chords are our second finger and our third finger. So in E minor chord we have to put our second finger on second fret of fifth string, and we have to put our third finger on second fret of fourth string, and it comes to be like this. But while holding E minor chord, there are a few things that we have to take into consideration, and these things are your second finger, this one. When you put it on fifth string, second fret of fifth string, make sure that it does not touch the sixth string, because if it touches the sixth string gets muted and it sounds like this. So it gives a muted sound, and when we are not touching the sixth string, it sounds very clean like this. Right? So the same thing we have to take into consideration for our third finger as well. And when we hold our third finger on second fret of the fourth string, we have to make sure that this third finger, it does not touch the string that is underneath it, that is the third string. So if it touches the third string, so it will also sound muted, just like the sixth string was sounding muted, and it will sound like this. So it gives a very, very bad muted sound. And when you do not touch this third string, it will sound very clean and it sounds like this. Right. So now as we have sorted out our muting stuff on this fourth and fifth strings, we have to make sure one more thing, that our palm, it should have a gap between the lower portion of fretboard and the palm. And if there is no gap between the palm and the fretboard, the first string will get muted and will sound like this. Right? So this is a sound that we generally don't want to have. So always make sure that there is a palm gap between your palm and the fretboard, so that the first string sounds very, very clean like this. Let me just tune this string a bit. So when we have sorted out all these three things, the last thing that we have to consider is that without which we cannot get the sound of E minor chord is, we have to make sure that we press our second finger and third fingers very tight on these two strings, that is fifth string and fourth string. So if we are not pressing them tightly, these two strings will also sound muted and it will be like this. So this is a muted sound, and when we press these strings very tightly, it sounds very clean and it sounds as this. Right. Now when all these four things have been sorted out, try to play each string individually to see whether they are sounding clean or not. So let us play all the strings separately now. Right, now all the strings are sounding very clean and crystal clear. So let us now strum this chord. So this is how E minor chord should sound like. Now let us work on another chord that is called A major chord. So in A major chord, it is a little like E minor chord, but there is one more additional finger in A major chord. That is this fourth finger, the little one. The frets will remain the same in this chord just like E minor, but the only things that will change is our strings. So in this chord, we will press our second finger on second fret of fourth string. Then we will put our third finger on second fret of third string, and then we will press our fourth finger on second fret of second string. So as you all can see, this is a very compressed chord, a compact chord in which we have to adjust all the three fingers in just one fret. And we have to consider the same things, that is, we should not touch our second finger to its upper string and the fourth finger to its lower string, because if we do that, our strings will get muted. So, and we have to also press all the three strings very tightly so that our chord can sound clean and crystal like this. Right? So now, while strumming A major chord, always make sure that you start to strum the chord from string number 5, that is this string. It is a general tendency to always start the chord from the topmost string, from this string. So why I am asking you to strum this chord from 5th string, it is because the chord is A major and it is always preferred to strum the chord from its root note. So as the chord is A, so its root note should also be A. So 5th string, that is this one, it is called an A chord, A string. So we should always strum this chord from A string, that is the string number 5. When we strum this chord from string number 5, it gives us a much pleasant tone as compared to the sound that we get from this chord while strumming from the 6th string. So when we strum from string number 6 is E string. So while strumming A major chord with the root note as E, it gives a little unpleasant tone. So when we are strumming from 5th string, it sounds very beautiful like this. So now, as we have taken a good hold of A major chord, let us do a new exercise, and that is known as shape practicing exercise. So in shape practicing, we will be doing this exercise for both E minor and A major separately. So first, how do we have to do it for E minor chord? So let's hold E minor chord, release it completely, and hold the fretboard from our thumb like this. So after we have released E minor chord, let's put it back on its original shape. Release it again and put it back on its original shape. Keep doing the same exercise for 5 to 10 minutes until you get a good hold of E minor chord. Now after you are done with E minor chord, do the same thing on A major chord. Put A major chord, release it back. Put it back again and release it again. And keep doing it for another 5 to 10 minutes till we get a good hold of A major chord. Now after we have gotten a good hold of both the chords separately, now we will try to change the chords at the same time. So hold E minor chord, release it and hold A major chord. Now release A major chord and hold E minor chord. After this, repeat the same cycle for as many times as you can till you get a good hold of changing the chords. See, it should be fluent without any time gap between E minor and A major. Now after we are done with practicing the shape, we will also use our right hand to strum the chords. So hold E minor chord, strum it 4 times, change to A major, strum it 4 times, and keep doing it again and again. And I will just show you how to do it. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, while I was changing the chord, I had no time gap during the changes. So how it should not be done, I will just show it to you. So guys, do you see that there was a time gap while changing chords from E minor to A major and from A major to E minor? So we have to avoid this time gap. And initially you may get this time gap while you are changing chords and playing the guitar. So in order to avoid that time gap, start strumming slowly and do like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you are able to do it at a slower speed, gradually you will be able to increase your speed without any time gaps between chord changes. It may be a little difficult at the beginning, but yes, I will say that don't give up. And if you do not give up, you will be able to accomplish all your goals in order to play the guitar. So that was all about E minor and A major chord. If you have any queries or any doubts, just get back to me in my comment section. And yes, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.